Hurricane season 2020 is already upon us. Traditionally, our Office of Emergency Management hosts a very popular workshop at the Pasadena Convention Center, but due to COVID-19 restrictions, we're unable to do it this year. However, we put together the following program that contains a lot of important information just for you. In the next few minutes, you'll hear from the Harris County Flood Control District. Our emergency management team has some very important hurricane safety tips that will help you get prepared. And finally, we partnered with our friends at Channel 13 Weather Center to give us a look at the 2020 hurricane forecast. Weather expert says this year is going to be a very busy storm year. Please watch the entire program, share this information, and be prepared. Thank you.
Every year we hold an annual hurricane conference workshop at the Pasadena Convention Center. Obviously this year with the COVID-19 pandemic that's not possible, so we have decided to go and do a video and give some of the presentations that we would normally give out at the Convention Center for our citizens. First thing we want to talk about preparedness. We want to talk about having a plan, and we give our citizens and anyone that comes out there all the things that they need to do about making a plan. The plan is get together with your family, figure out what you're going to do if a storm comes this way, about taking care of their neighbors, about having a plan where your family knows where you're going if you're evacuating town. Having a plan this year is going to be a little bit different with the COVID-19. Some of the things that you need to have for the next step is when you build the kit is you have to have masks. You don't know if we're going to need masks after the storm or not. Broadly speaking, when you're putting a kit together, the first thing you need to remember, you need to have necessary supplies to last 7 days. 7 days is more than enough time for things to come back up. If you remember after Hurricane Ike, we didn't have power for several days, and probably by day 6 or 7 is when all the grocery stores started opening back up. So we need to have supplies, food, water to last 7 days. A gallon of water per person per day is usually sufficient. We also need to make sure that in our kit we have our emergency documents such as copies of our birth certificate. Make sure you have copies of your insurance, birth certificates, anything you may need that may not be readily available after a storm. So you can take pictures of them with your phone, or you can store them digitally. You don't have to have the originals. Well, also for your kit, you also need to have chargers for your phone, a way to stay communicated. There may not be cell service around, so maybe a small portable radio so you can listen to the news other than the internet. The internet may not be up. One of the things that we need to learn is wherever you live in the city or in Harris County, you need to know if you're in a surge zone. There are 4 different surge zones in the Houston-Galveston area, and depending on the storm that's coming at us, that area may or may not be evacuated, depending if it's a tropical storm, category 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If you live in those surge zones, the governor, the mayor, or the county judge may order an evacuation of that specific area prior to landfall. If you need a copy or you need to look at it, you can call the Office of Emergency Management at 713-475-5588, or you can look online at our website, and we're at pasadenatx.gov, and just click on the Emergency Management tab. You can see the documents that relate to what evacuation zone you live in. You may also contact Harris County Office of Emergency Management at readyharris.org. Remember, it's up to all of us to be aware of hurricanes and tropical storms and ever-changing events. So let's stay safe out there, and hopefully this year we have a non-event.
Flood Warning System website now allows users to sign up for email and text alerts at more than 250 gauges across the region. Start receiving real-time rainfall and water level alerts by following these easy steps. Step 1. Visit the Flood Warning System website at www.harriscountyfws.org. Step 2. Register by clicking on the Register Login button on the top right corner of your computer screen or smart device. Select New User, Register here, and complete the registration form or login using an existing social media account such as Facebook, Twitter, or Google. For security purposes, select the I'm not a robot checkbox and follow the directions on the screen. After completing the registration, an automatic verification code will be sent to your cell phone and a confirmation email will be sent to the registered email address. Open the link to verify we have your correct information. This step is not required when registering with social media accounts. Enter your phone verification code or enter your email verification code. Then click Next. Please enter your address to complete your account registration. Providing your address will allow us to identify all sites near your address so that you can easily subscribe to alerts from the flood warning system. Click Next to continue. By selecting the location box at the top, you enable all gauges in a 5-mile radius around the address you provided. Otherwise, you may select the individual address of a specific gauge location. You can also select the checkbox for individual gauges that you are truly interested in having an alert for. Click Continue to Cite when you are finished. On the Alerts page, a listing of all available rainfall or water level gauges are shown. Select the gauges that are important to you. Your selections will enable you to receive alerts through text, email, or both. In addition, if you have not verified your email account, you will have a chance to do so by clicking Click Here in the red bar at the top of the page. Step 3. Once logged in, you will need to complete your profile. Enter a valid phone number, address, and check the terms and conditions to continue. By clicking on the Account Management tab, you can make changes to your account. Here, you will also be able to delete your account and stop receiving flood warning alerts altogether. Simply click the link and follow the instructions. We encourage you to bookmark the FWS website and to register for an account to receive alerts in advance of the next storm. The updated Flood Warning System website is just one of the many ways the Harris County Flood Control District is prioritizing safety and readiness for its residents.
The more we study tropical systems, the better we get at predicting them. And forecasters are sounding the alarm this season. We're expecting a very active 2020.
Be very prepared. Be very prepared. It's as bad as the 2008 forecast.
Hurricane forecaster Dale Link believes Texas has a higher than usual chance for hurricane strength this year.
There are 3 areas that we have.
And Dan Kotlowski of AccuWeather had this to say.
I'd say right now the Texas coast is one area that we're most concerned about, simply because of the way the pattern is set up, the warm water already in place. This year, we believe that we are going to see somewhere between 14 and 20 tropical storms. We're thinking that somewhere between 7 and 11 storms will be hurricanes. 4 to 6 of those will be major hurricanes.
Forecasters also believe this could be a hyperactive season. They use a parameter called ACE, or Accumulated Cyclone Energy, to compare seasons. It's the estimated energy of a storm season where the normal value is 106.
This year, we're forecasting between 130 and 170. Anytime you go above 153, It's what we call a hyperactive year.
Some notable hyperactive years in our recent past includes 2017, which had an A score of 225. That was also the year of Hurricane Harvey. 2010 had an A score of 165, and 2005 had a score of 250. Of course, that was the year of a record 28 named storms, including Katrina, Rita, and Wilma. And each forecaster is citing the same reasons for the busy season. A La Nina weather pattern in the Pacific Ocean relaxes winds above the Atlantic Ocean. Weaker winds give tropical waves a better chance to develop into hurricanes, and record warm sea surface temperatures in the Gulf will give any passing storm or disturbance the fuel it needs to intensify.
So you may have a few days to maybe a couple of weeks where the shear is very low across the main developmental region. If that's the case, you're going to have robust development.
And there's another concerning thing about this season. It all has to do with the positioning of the Bermuda High in the Atlantic. If the Bermuda High is weak and positioned far to the north, tropical systems will typically stay in the Atlantic or strike the East Coast. However, if it's stronger and positioned farther southwest, then systems have a better chance of tracking into the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico.
This year, we believe it'll be like last year. The high will be a little bit further south than normal, a little bit stronger than normal, which means there's a higher chance that storms will be guided into the Caribbean and into the Gulf of Mexico.
For this year, there are
Dale Link is very concerned about Texas as well. His simple methodology for forecasting hurricane landfalls has to do with what happened the previous 2 years. If a tropical storm or weaker system hits an area in 1 year, he designates a risk zone he believes will receive a hurricane strike within the next couple of years. Last year, Tropical Storm Imelda hit our coastline, and that is the reason Zone 2 covers the entire Texas coast.
There were 5 storm systems last year that made landfall in the Gulf of Mexico. And those 5 storms really created all those red zones that I have forecasted, the strike zones.
Let's put his theory to the test. Harvey made landfall along the Texas coast near Corpus Christi in 2017. A year earlier, the closest tropical storm was Danielle, which hit about 450 miles down the coast in Mexico. But 2 years earlier, Tropical Storm Bill struck the coast near Matagorda Bay. Another example is Tropical Storm Aaron, which hit near Corpus Christi in 2007. The very next year, Hurricane Ike made a direct hit on us. So what does Dale have to say about this season?
You're in big trouble. The forecast from Brownsville all the way to Tampa, Florida, but it covers all of Texas.